All right, round 2 of the Ready to Love reunion. It's about to get interesting even more. So,
I'll be the ring girl. Ding, 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 round 2.
all right. So, listen, my name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, and on this channel, we do a lot of conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we also do recaps, reviews, and commentaries on our favorite shows. This one is all about the last episode, the end of Ready to Love Miami, at least the first edition, season reunion special, all that stuff, fight going down. So listen, if this is content that you enjoy, and it is, hit the subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
And we'll see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store. All right. So, yeah, this is it for Ready to Love Miami, although they are already announcing a new season of Ready to Love to start in January. So, again, you want to hit the subscribe and notifications because you want to be here when we start reviewing that one.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably going to be Miami just because their pattern has been they do 2 seasons in a city and then they move on. I already know they're moving on to Dallas. Seems to be the next city. Mm-hmm. So all y'all Dallas folks that are ready to love, hit up Uncle Tommy. See if what's going on there is, see if maybe you're missing something in Dallas. All right. So.
You missing anything in Dallas?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to come to Phoenix because Phoenix, I hear dating in Phoenix is bad. Yeah. That's kind of what I keep hearing.
That's what you keep hearing?
I keep hearing that.
I've heard of
people of color.
Yeah, people like even leave so that they could go date
someplace else.
I don't know.
We came here married, so I don't know what the
I've seen people get married here.
I have.
I've seen black people.
I've seen people get married twice.
Oh no! Don't
and
go there.
3 times.
Don't go here. Don't.
And 4 times.
Don't scare people who are supposed to come to Phoenix.
They leaving the door open on marriage.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, and marrying.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be messy. Okay, so we're at Ready Love.
Just saying.
Miami.
If you're in Phoenix and you know that that's true, let us know in the comments because.
Not all the time. There are people who are getting married.
You're right. They are. There are people that are getting married.
Don't
there are people
scare people.
I'm just saying.
To come here.
The overwhelming thing that I hear.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. Anyway, y'all came here to talk about Ready to Love. Y'all came to hear that. So we pick up with the outburst between Cadian and Charisse, where Cadian was like, "I will slap you," and Charisse was like, "I want to do it." So.
And Kayla was like, Can we all just get along? We got eyes rolling. Guys, I don't know how these Miami streets go, but it seems like this season, there was a lot of different mixed personalities in this season.
Yeah.
And we do have disagreements, even in our own culture. Mm-hmm. We always want to present the best because we're never presented in a good light. Mm-hmm. So I understand where she's coming from. Like, can we just relax?
Can't we all just get along?
Can we just relax? If y'all not friends, then y'all not friends. Mm-hmm. Just squash it. Mm-hmm. But also, we got to be true to ourselves. So I feel like this season, they gave a slight more transparency in their approach to Ready to Love Miami.
I think we just had a lot of big personalities.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to use the word aggressive. I don't want to use
that's why
That's
why I'm saying they used another level of transparency. Like, right. This is how I'm feeling about you.
Yeah.
And you're coming off with this different energy, like we're cool and we're friends, and we're not, and I'm not going to pretend.
Right.
And I think that's what was coming through the most. Like, we're going to be real on TV and off of TV. Right. And then we're going to stand for, like, we're going to pretend like everything's cool.
True.
When it's not.
True.
So that's why I'm saying we do always want to present our best self.
Yeah, we have to control our narrative.
Our narrative, right? Mm-hmm. Because as African Americans, let's just be honest, because that's what she was talking about, is that we're not always presented in the best light. But at the same time, we are human beings that have different emotions.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like this season, they were saying, we're going to be transparent and be real. Don't come with the fake, because that's like the narrative throughout this season, is that we're being fake with each other. We're being fake with who we want to date. And we're going to be real about this.
Right.
We're going to be real love for Ready for Love.
So I mean, Kayla jumps in. She does interject that it was interesting to watch. Jamala was yawning while she
rolled her eyes.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay. Now, are you rolling her eyes because you're feeling like her tears are not real? Because I'm saying this is where we're going with.
Y'all let us know.
Are you being real? Is this real tears?
I'm questioning whether those tears were real.
Oh, you think she just manufactured what she was feeling at the moment? I think she felt frustrated. Those look like tears of frustration.
Or airtime.
Ooh, oh, okay. Okay.
Or airtime.
Okay.
All right, so that's...
only thing I'm saying, I can see being frustrated.
I get frustrated.
I get frustrated. And again, we're women. So...
No, you're a woman. I'm a man.
I apologize. You're right. I'm talking about her.
Yes.
And when we can be emotional, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes, depending on what's going on with us, when we're trying to express something, sometimes we get a little overwhelmed, and that comes forward.
Okay.
So I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. When she was frustrated, it seemed like she wanted to start to cry. Because she stopped. She didn't keep crying.
True.
Right? It came out, and then she kind of brought it back. So.
Okay.
Okay, so let's give her that.
I'll give her that.
Okay.
So then we also have a recap on Justice.
Yes.
So if you don't remember, Justice was there, but at times it was like he wasn't there.
Right.
Justice was like, I want you to chase me and position yourself, because I don't believe in spending money on a date, is pretty much what he was saying.
That's what I got.
That's what we got. Now,
yeah. And he was saying a lot of other stuff that didn't make a lot of sense, because when he had that date, where were they? They were going out somewhere, and they were sitting around the table. Mm-hmm. And that was the episode where the friends.
Oh yeah, they were like at a marina or something.
Yeah, they were at a marina, and he was talking, and he was just like saying a whole bunch of stuff, and it just wasn't coming together.
Yeah.
So
Cadian's like, okay, so what happened with you and Looney? Because that was at least seemed to be a connection for him. Looney and Justice were making a connection. Looney's like, I wasn't interested in the fakeness. See? So, and she's like, they are not friends. So basically, he pulled back, is what she's saying, because she was interested. She was feeling him. She was wanted to connect with him. He pulled back. And he does, I get kind of what he was saying. He was like, look, it was hard to connect with one person when there's all of these other people that are supposed to be in the process trying to connect with. So I get that that may cause you to not know how to move with Looney, but to pull back even after the process is over, then would make anyone question, like, okay, was that legit? Was that sincere? Or was that just maybe a process thing, right?
Correct, because... And you understand, I feel like everyone understands what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be 10 men, 10 women, and then every week, back and forth, there's going to be a decision or not to keep you. But we've seen over seasons that people, that's just not their personality, or they can't really move that way. They're really there for love and, not to showcase anything else. But at the same time, you have to take the chance of, I'm only going to focus on one person if I'm only interested in one person.
True.
And it seemed like he couldn't do that. But after the fact, you would expect more.
But he couldn't do it then either.
So to me, I thought he just wasn't ready to be dating or be in a serious relationship, because we see her leave the stage. She's like, because Cadian was like, hold on. But y'all was like tight. You were like, y'all were talking like.
And he goes into this monologue and it was hard to follow what he was rambling about.
I think pretty much what you just said.
Okay.
That he couldn't follow or feel comfortable in the process when he was only interested in one person.
Yeah.
But they're calling him, right? Mm-hmm. As far as we've learned so far about the background of Ready to Love, they'll call you to go on random dates with people you may not even be interested in. Mm-hmm. And what he was saying is, I didn't want to go on random dates with people I wasn't interested in.
Yeah.
You know?
So then why come on the show? But, okay. So, yeah, Looney leaves. Justice does go follow her.
She said, I need a minute.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to give you a minute. He comes back out.
Finishes up his conversation.
Yes.
But then also, after the break, we see them talking outside. Mm-hmm. And basically, he's, long story short, they're at least going to be connecting.
Yeah,
friends,
right. That's what he said.
Right. Now, what comes of that, we don't know, right?
No, I mean, again, everybody wants to stay cordial. Right. They want to be able to hang out. They do things for the Ready to Love cast to get together. And so I think he's just trying to break the ice.
Yeah.
Because he indicates at one point, like you said on the couch, he doesn't want any labels. But when you say we're friends, we're best friends, and then we work to something, to me, those are labels. So if we're going to be cordial, that's fine. But I wouldn't want to pursue anything. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm interested, like, man, I really like this guy. Some people just need to leave alone.
Yeah.
Just keep it moving. It's
just keep it moving.
Because you don't want more frustration and a waste of time.
Right.
Because I hear more and more singles feels like I've been wasting my time with someone who's not ready to move forward in a serious relationship. Mm-hmm. Because people do want to get married still, have families. So.
True. All right, so then we get into Samson. So they do the recap with Samson, and Samson was bringing gifts to everybody. He was like a little wise man, just bringing gifts of frankincense and myrrh.
Shut up! But they allow him to explain.
He explains it, yes,
and he's just like, that's just how I was raised. That you give gifts to show appreciation of a woman's time.
And if she's spending time with you, if she's giving you her time, honor that. Okay.
I was like, I get that. So for him, that's a culture thing. Mm-hmm. And I just, only thing, because we talked about this, is I would like to hear his perspective, or does he understand from a woman's perspective?
Yeah.
Especially being on this show, right? Mm-hmm. So I know in your regular dating life, women don't know that you've given gifts to other people.
True.
That's true. So when you're in this kind of more like a bubble, does he understand the perspective of why women would think the way they would? Because I understand his perspective.
Right.
But does he get theirs? I don't know. Is my gift going to be bigger because you're spending more time with me?
And here's the thing. Here's why I take a little issue with the issue of his gift giving. Mm-hmm. Is because it's not as if he came with the same gift every time for every person.
That's
so it's not like he brought a journal to Brandy, brought a journal to Looney, right? It's not like he went to the 99-cent store
and he got like a pile of them,
a packet of stuff, and was like,
put it on the
box
for
all my dates. So he tried to personalize it and make it individualized for each person.
That's true.
So it's like in this process, you know that you're going on dates with multiple people. Mm-hmm. He's at least trying to say, I'm not viewing you as just the next one in line. I'm trying to get to know who you are and provide you with a gift that recognizes your individuality, or at least kind of how I see you. So to take issue with the gift giving because everybody's getting a gift means that you're just upset about the action without understanding that he personalized it for you.
Not necessarily, because again, if you're thinking about how a woman thinks, I'm just being honest. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if you want to feel special, right?
Okay.
And like in your mind, if we're just thinking simply like, oh, everyone got a gift, because they may or may not say what was in the gift. It's like, I got a gift. You got a gift. I got a gift. So for a woman, if they're not used to that type of dating,
That's it.
That's it. If they're not used to that type of dating, normally they only get gifts when I'm in an exclusive relationship. I get gifts when I know I'm the only one. Mm-hmm. And so when someone comes and moves differently, it does put that perspective out there of, oh, you just do this for everybody, then I'm not special. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
But I appreciate him explaining it, and that makes sense. I'm good with the reason now. Like, okay, cool. I hear your side. Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. Those are the type of men you would want to date. That's the type of man I would want my daughter to date.
Yeah. Now, some of the ladies, like Looney, was saying that he was giving friend vibes.
Probably to her, yeah.
But then Brandy said that there was some interest on her part there.
Yes.
But they never crossed the threshold.
Yeah.
So that could, and love to talk to Sampson and kind of get an understanding, but it could be from the fact that maybe Brandy booed up with Mike so soon and
seemed like to have a tight connection.
Right. That I'm not going to press the issue.
Right.
When
if you're not pressing
all
the
your
issue.
energy says that that's your person.
Correct. And also mention that all these women are saying that he's a great guy.
Yes.
That they're saying that even with his approach, which they weren't familiar with,
right,
that they really appreciate him and he came off as a great guy. Nothing negative they had to say about their dates.
So then we get to talking about Charisse and Samson.
Yes.
And he says that the other ladies had a better understanding of him than Charisse did. And that basically, Charisse was saying that she wanted to be made known and announced to the world, I guess, in the newspaper and magazines that he was feeling her. And he's like, I don't know. You brought this up several times. I don't know how else to make it clear. I don't see myself. He's not the type of person to be like, hey, everybody.
I tagged her.
Right.
She's mine.
Right. He's like, who do I talk to and spend my time with? In this process, we're spending time with everybody, right? Mm-hmm. But who do I call first thing in the morning? Who do I say goodnight to and I'm going to, and then I'm going to bed? Who am I talking to late at night? Who am I spending my time, effort, and energy with? Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, no, I need more.
To me, it was more like an insecurity.
Yep.
And so when you're insecure about where you are in the process and you see everyone else doing their thing, you expect it to be that way. Mm-hmm. But if you're showing me, because you can see in the scene when he came to get, his facial done and the frustration, he's like, because I was like, we're missing something, right? Mm-hmm. We're missing something in the film. He's saying like, I'm talking to you. We're having these conversations. I feel like I'm making these efforts because we're listening to what he's saying to her.
Right.
And she's saying, well, the way you're trying to show your affection and how you're interested in me, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in you coming in a way that I understand. And I think that's something Charisse's going to have to learn, because if she wants someone to love him, yes, they want to try to love you the way you want to be loved.
Right.
But at the same time, you're going to have to be able to respond to the love you receive.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And again, the thing that I look at in this process, we look at all the time in Ready to Love, is that in normal dating, yes, you want to know that you have that other person's attention and you don't expect that there's anybody else being involved. And so the problem that happens too often in Ready to Love is that there are conversations about the other people in the process, instead of taking the time that you have with that person and maximizing that time, getting them to focus on you, right? So she did not necessarily bring up, well, what time you spend with other ladies, but she's concerned about the other time that's spent. So therefore it colors and jades how she responds and interacts with Samson. Mm-hmm. So yes, there's insecurity there. Mm-hmm. I still have, I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, just if we focus on
just what we're seeing right here
on their relationship, right?
Yep.
That they were having. you're correct. But to me, this is a better situation because when you're out in the real world, you may not know who they're dating.
True.
You may not know that they're dating multiple people.
Very true.
Unless you know how to communicate.
Or that they're married, yeah.
Yep. And so then you're assuming you're the only one, potentially. Mm-hmm. And would it have been fine? Because he's calling you first thing in the morning.
Yep.
He's calling you in the evening. You're having dates and you're going about your merry way. Here, you see who the women are. And this determines where you're secure in. Because when you're in the world, you're going to have to be secure unless you're going to be looking through his phone. You're going to be, or have those conversations. Are we just seeing each other? Are you seeing multiple people? And then again, you're going to have to learn how to be secure in who you are, that you're going to be either picked, that we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, or they're going to keep dating.
And here's, just as you were saying that, here's part of the issue I think that we're seeing happen too often now with Ready to Love, and that's coming out into the open. It probably happened from the very beginning, but there's almost the potential for mob mentality as it relates to men versus women. What I mean by that is that what you said as far as you wouldn't know who you're dating, who the other person is dating in a real world situation. Mm-hmm. But now, because I know that there's 9 other people that are dating you, or that I'm dating, and we're sharing notes, right? Because we're in the lounge, we're sharing notes. So now it becomes, Samson gave me a gift. Mike said this, so-and-so did this. And so now there's, rather than the relationship being able to grow organically, now you're having to filter information based upon what's happening on your dates and what you're getting in the group chat and what you're hearing at the lounge. Gotcha. So now you have all of these things competing. So now you are comparing what you think your relationship should look like to how your friend and their relationship is happening with the person that they're really intent on. So
that's true.
It's a lot happening there.
Because pivoting right to what Samson says, I wasn't listening to the men.
Yeah.
And what they were saying about you. Mm-hmm. Because all these women, they're saying all the positive stuff about me. All those brothers were talking about the negative about you.
Yep.
And I still kept calling you morning and evening. Mm-hmm. So being able to put that to the side, he said I could put that to the side because I wanted to have a relationship with you. Yep. And what you're not valuing is that how hard that was.
Yep.
Gotcha.
To ignore what I'm hearing.
To ignore what I'm hearing.
And focus on what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So Samson got a new woman. And she ain't part of the Ready to Love crew. She from his church.
Part of the church family. And he said they had a friendship, and he decided to go further. And sometimes you need to see that, right? You see what's out in them streets.
Samson dating one of the worship team leaders.
Shut up. And sometimes you find it in your community, because you want to make sure you find someone on all levels. Mm-hmm. And my understanding, it's still hard to date in church because there's a lot of women there.
There might be. We might need to do just from what we've seen, just watching those that we've mentored or coming up. Just there's a culture I think that happens in church that kind of makes dating difficult. We might talk about that.
We might put that under the.
That might be a members. Yeah, that might be the first one that we'll talk about. Yeah. But look for that. All right. So, he got him a girlfriend now. He's moved on. Charisse is not with anybody as far as we can see. Or sorry, she mentioned.
She didn't mention anybody because it'd be a good time to throw them out there.
Yep. So then we get to Swayze and Cadian. Mm-hmm. And they had communication issues almost from the jump, right? But there was a connection. And as we've been mentioning, there's a definite connection that we see because he's all over her Instagram and what have you. But if you remember when they ended the process, it was kind of like, I'm done. But we find out that he called after, or she called after the process. She called after the process was over. It was like, all right, this process is done. Can we see if this is a real thing?
And it was like, for him, like, that was the revealing moment that she was real about their connection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You know, I would feel that you would. She's always presented herself as a real person. Mm-hmm. And I hate to put it that way, but she
authentic.
There you go.
Authentic.
She's authentic throughout.
Whether you like her or not, she's authentic throughout the entire time.
Stayed the same course. She doesn't filter what she believes. She says what she thinks right off the top, right? And so it's interesting how he still felt that maybe she was just doing the process and not there for him. Mm-hmm. But even though whatever their challenges was, she showed her authentic self. Mm-hmm. And so kudos to her, you know, because a lot of women said, nah, you're going to call me, you know, and you're going to figure it out. But she was like, I really want to pursue this. I think you're my person. And they did. Yeah. And so at this point, it takes both efforts. Mm-hmm. It's not just one person. Yeah. And somebody has to humble themselves and say, all right, it's my turn to say, I'm still interested. Let's pursue it. Yeah. So
the question of him only dating black women or only dating not black women or dating outside of his race exclusively came up. He's like, I dated exclusively black women up to a certain point, and then I got to college and I was like, oh, there's other flavors of the rainbow, so let me see what else is there.
Well, and I'm exploring, kind of is what he was saying. Right. Like, I'm exploring, you know, because from his lens, it was like, don't date outside your race. Right. From his lens. And he was like, well, I'm in college. You meet a lot of different people. Let me explore. Right. You know, and I think it was Looney that brought out, he's like, it's not the problem about you exploring and dating women outside your race. Is when you exclude black women completely. And so Tommy's like, okay, just want to check to make sure you date black women. He's like, my girl's black.
He like, she black.
Oh, okay. I just want to check. You never know. Right. You never. Which, I mean, again, we think about this. That's where the issue is when we feel excluded.
Right. Katie would be like, I identify as Asian. Right.
Or Caribbean.
Right. So they're good. Mm-hmm. So then we get to Randall. Randall's recap. So
they left that one for last.
Yeah. Well, almost last. Mm-hmm. That was
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You got to end on a high. Well, you got to end on a high note because they do Mike and Brandy too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Randall and Jamala and Tranika and Kayla, and for some reason Charisse was out there.
They just need someone to sit in the seat because Mike was on the other end.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So you just need something neutral.
Yeah, okay, to balance out, I guess. All right, so, but the question of, you know, how did Randall feel after the retreat? And he was like, he was more confused than ever. Okay.
Came in from the blue room. She's like, he just need to make a decision.
Yeah.
I was like, well, yeah.
So that moment where Jamala hunts down Randall and Kayla when they're in his room and like comes in, it's like, I got to get this cap because I just need it now.
And she come to get her stuff.
Yeah, but she was basically what she said was that in that moment that was supposed to be Randall letting down Kayla.
I was like, woo.
So, and here's the thing: if that's what was supposed to be happening, trust it is going to happen, and if it don't happen, then that tells you what you need to know too. But if and I'm not saying that Jamala's insecure, but if your insecurity about how he is with this other person allows you to do that, then that's causing the problems that you're seeing there too.
And he's a grown man. And so grown men have to make grown decisions. Mm-hmm. And if you allow a person to, if you have to trust, at the end of the day, you have to trust your partner. Right. Right. When they let you down, then you know, okay, they let me down. How do I want to move after being let down? Right. But if you never give them the chance and you're trying to manipulate and you're trying to make things work, and because of your investment. That's where the problem comes in, right? Because we want to control the situation. We want them to do what they said they were going to do, and it goes back to trust issues, and it could come from other relationships and you bring it into this relationship. Again, it's intensified when they're dating multiple people.
Right.
And you learn about yourself. Are you the confident person that's going to say, I can allow you to date other people, and then however it works out, it works out.
Right.
And so she showed where she was in that moment. And they talked about it, right? Because we saw that on the camera. They talked about it and seemed to squash it in the sense, right? But at the same time, he never changed his feelings. Only person I saw who was able to handle his weight was Tranika. She was the most balanced woman out of this whole experience.
I agree.
When even some of her connections were starting to fall off, she stayed true to herself. She never seemed to be like, when you're with me, I'm focused on you.
Right.
And I'm not worried about other women.
Right.
And we got to see what both sides of that looks like when you're confident and when you're not confident.
Yep.
So,
but Tranika did kind of blurt out. She's like, he don't claim you outside, talking to Jamala.
well, because they're trying to get across to her what's going on here. And she keeps denying it. So this is where I come back, where we see the underlying people saying, no, we're going to be truthful. We're going to be transparent how this is shaking out. He's not claiming you, boo. You need to wake up to the reality of what's going on.
Yep.
Because what we finally understand here is Randall still really didn't make a clear decision.
No.
On that bridge, he said it was Jamala.
But when he came off that bridge.
When he came off the bridge, all of a sudden he got two girlfriends.
Yo, Kayla, hey.
How do you do that? Listen.
And Tranika was like, I ain't in that. I'm done.
I like how she puts it, but let's break this down. You're telling me you want to be monogamous when we're on a bridge.
Right.
You're saying you're picking me.
Right.
You're saying all the reasons why you're picking me. The moment you decide to date someone else, you have no longer picked me. So I no longer pick you.
Yep.
That's how that works. I don't care how long we were on TV together. I don't care now that we're in the real world and you decide that you have to go back dating other people because you don't know. You call me when you know. Because this is where you get out of all these in and out relationships, going back and forth, all this little cycle. We're together 3-4 months and then we're not together anymore. You call me when you're serious. Because I'm not playing games. And I was serious about what I want on TV and what I want off of TV. I'm not sharing you now. The sharing is over.
Yeah, there's no more cameras rolling.
There's no more cameras rolling. I'm not sharing you. Because Tranika was like, Randall likes to play in traffic. And she said, I don't do heavy traffic.
She's like, I'm playing in traffic myself on the other side of the street. I ain't got time to be in Randall's traffic.
I was like, she said he likes playing in traffic.
And someone, I forgot who it was, backstage was like, these ladies, their personality is too much for Randall. He can't handle it. Their personalities are too strong. And it's causing Randall, because yes, Jamala has a strong personality. Actually, all three of them have strong personalities, is what I can see.
Yeah, different ways.
Different ways, right? But Randall could not make a decision and is still not making a decision.
No, he could have made a decision.
No, I'm saying yes, he could have, but the ability, he does not have the ability to make a decision, as we see. And so therefore, and he's not making a decision, and no one's forcing him to make a decision. Because
there you go.
Jamala could very well say, well, since you are
there you go
still seeing Kayla, have fun with Kayla.
There you and same thing for Kayla.
It's very true. Kayla could do the same thing.
See, and this is where we're coming back with her. Why are you still allowing to be second? And the reason why I'm saying second is because specifically on national TV, production, lights, and camera. Mm-hmm. He didn't choose you first.
Yep.
Then you allow the dude to call you. Well, you know, me and so we're really not Bro, you told me after I cut your steak
and fed it to you.
I wasn't the one. We sat down at the table and I cut your food up and put a napkin on you, and you still told me I wasn't the one. Bye. But she didn't do that.
No.
So for me, I'm like, you can't be frustrated with what you got going on.
Right.
You helped create it. You're being a part of it. When you don't, why be frustrated with something you can cut off?
Yeah.
You can't change that man.
Nope.
I refuse to be frustrated.
All right. So now on to Mike and Brandy, which is the happy ending for this season or this cycle of Ready to Love. So they are booed up.
Yeah. They're enjoying their time together.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't have a hard time making a decision.
Yeah. He said that the decision before was that he was good with her, that it was just he was going through the process of dating other people. So then that begs the question of Kayla being, in some respects, being pulled along. And that then also now to me says, okay, maybe production had more of a hand in that.
Yes.
Because we've heard how I think in one of her lives that she wanted to exit a little earlier, but production kept saying, no, you got to stay in it. So that may have been a manufactured storyline in some respects.
Yes, I believe that. But I just keep questioning, did she have to stay? Did they change something? Because I would think you would need to be very specific. I was like, I need to see it in my contract. Tell me how much money you wanted me to give back.
My finance, yeah.
Because I don't want to stay in the process. Because we've seen it done in the past, right? Mm-hmm. And you were saying, well, maybe they changed something in the contract. Well, then show me. I'd be like, you need to tell me. Or here, take some of this back.
Right.
Take it out of my last check. Because, again, I don't want to be... And you're talking about being portrayed on national TV. I don't want to be portrayed as the side chick or the second choice. This didn't work out for me. I didn't find love. You're not going to keep me on here unless I have some other things that this is going to do for me.
True. So that wraps it up pretty much for Miami, part 1, I guess, of Ready to Love in Miami. January, they will have Ready to Love coming back. As more information comes out, we'll provide that to you. But make sure you're still subscribed. We've got other things that we are reviewing and recapping. A couple of new shows. We are definitely doing Love is Blind this season, as well as a new show called After Happily Ever After. We're finishing up Married at Sight. And we'll see what else is going on. And then we've got other conversations that we're coming out with. So we'll see you all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.